All right, so the last video that I posted on the lower leg shift got a lot of views, so I see that there's some interest in the lower leg shift. And that video was specifically on how to wrestle up from a half guard using the lower leg shift to get into a single leg / shelf situation. This next little tip I'm going to give you is a tip to just make the lower leg shift itself way better, okay? It's one of those tips where people call it invisible jiu-jitsu. Unless somebody told you it's happening, you wouldn't really be able to see it, okay? One of the biggest problems that people have in a lower leg shift is, so I get into my half guard situation, I go to lower leg shift Troy, I get his knee out in front, and then rotate so they can see our legs. Good. And then from here, what happens a lot of times is that your opponent will find ways to pick his left knee up off the mat. Go ahead. Other way, into me. Yes. And he'll lift it up here. And that can really frustrate your lower leg shift, okay? Here's a tip on how to prevent your opponent from being able to lift his knee up off the mat and be able to keep tension in the leg. What I'm going to do from here is that when I go for my lower leg shift, my knee, so I'm going to hook the ankle just like I taught in that last video. I'm going to make sure I'm back heeling and keeping his ankle high. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knee and point my knee down to the mat, like so. So now when Troy goes to lift his knee up off the mat, he feels like it weighs a lot. Now, there are a couple of different ways of generating tension in a lower leg shift. One of them is to physically cross your legs and hip into your opponent. While that is a great way of generating tension in the lower leg shift, and I do like it, and I teach it, and I don't discourage students from using it, the one disadvantage it has over the method that I'm teaching you is that this one involves two legs, meaning I don't have a free left leg to be able to maneuver with. Whereas if I just focus on back heeling with the lower leg shift leg, primary leg, which is my right leg in this case, and just point my right knee down to the mat, when he goes to pick up that knee, it's very hard. Also, I have a free left knee to be able to get back with and be able to build in the lower leg shift, okay? So once again, just so that you're clear, all I'm doing is I'm taking this, the primary leg, that knee, and I'm making sure I'm pointing that knee down to the mat. When I go to lower leg shift, if that knee is lazy, if this knee is lazy, and it's either neutral or even worse yet, pointing up, it's easy for him to pick up his knee and point it at my hip and then frustrate my lower leg shift. Whereas if I take this knee and I point it down to the mat actively, now from here when he goes to pick up that knee, he won't be able to, and I'll be able to generate a lot of counter offense from there. Press the stop button right there.